everyone. My name is Kiko Mallon. I am the newly hired Prevention Team Director for the City of Northampton Department of Health and Human Services. I've been on the job since July, so this is all new to me. I'm a Massachusetts native, but I'm new to Western Mass, and I've been living on the West Coast for the last 30 years. So I'm super glad to be back, super glad to be in my position and to be here with all of you today. This is a big deal. This is the first time we're bringing our DART partners together since COVID. So we're so happy to see you here. We have a packed agenda, and I want to get us started by telling you how happy I am to have Mayor Gina Louise Shara, for the Mayor of Northampton, here to kick us off. And so with that, I'm going to pass it to Mayor Shara.
Thank you, Kiko, and we're so glad to have you here now, back in Massachusetts. Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here this morning to welcome you today and to share how grateful I am for DART and for all of Northampton's leaders and partners, and very much for all of you and all of your contributions to this program. I'm very proud to support your work and believe our local community members and regional partners who are on the ground every day should be supported by their local government leadership. At the center, when we first began to see the opioid overdose epidemic emerge, to now, and hopefully always at the center, are the people and the lives that are lost too soon, those at risk and their families and loved ones. The drive to do something to help people led the Northampton Health Department, now known as the Northampton Department of Health and Human Services, to work on public health coordination and to overcome systems challenges that prevented jurisdictions and sectors from working together in a way that is absolutely necessary to activate a collaborative response needed for the crisis. This person-centered approach and the compassionate and visionary leadership of now Commissioner Meredith O'Leary and Deputy Commissioner Michelle Farry and their department, especially around harm and stigma reduction and the work that they've done in collaboration with all of you, has been very deeply inspiring to me and my vision and priorities as mayor. And that's why one of the priorities in my first year has been to acknowledge that work and evolve the health department into the Department of Health and Human Services, and to entrust public health to lead on key initiatives in Northampton. I'm sure there is not one person here today who's not been impacted by a substance use of concern. This could be someone you care for, or maybe a loved one, a person you've worked with, or a patron at a local business, or maybe it's an individual you see and are concerned for in your community. Many here today have the reality of grieving over the loss of a loved one or being witness to trauma, which is all too often multi-generational. Access to care, connection, and compassion make all of the difference in combating the stigma and isolation substance misuse often brings with it. It's all of you, the individual recovery coaches, the many officers and chiefs, healthcare partners, harm reduction specialists, public health departments, treatment partners, and all of your community efforts, and the work and care that you bring that make the difference for the individuals and families impacted by substance use and overdose. We hope that today is spent focusing on our strength, as we are absolutely stronger together, and as we work to realize our adapting goal to operate as a larger, extended, multi-municipality, departmental, county mission-driven team. I'm grateful to all of you and the leadership that has paved the way to make this all possible and has sustained through the many challenges and the ever-changing landscape of this work. So I hope you have a very wonderful day working together. And again, thank you truly, deeply from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That was just beautiful. Thank you for opening us up. So welcome, everyone, to today's training. It's wonderful to see the room this filled with all of you. It's been a while since I've stood in front of a crowd this large. I'm used to being behind the screen and giving presentations or opening remarks. With that, I'm just going to say, in 2014, when the opioid epidemic was declared a full-blown public health crisis, the City of Northampton Health Department, in partnership with the District Attorney's Office, received the first grant to address the opioid misuse, overdose, and addiction. Never did I imagine that I'd be standing here today for the DART program during a time where so much has changed for all of us after COVID, and what I imagine has been a challenging time for you all in your role as first responders in law enforcement, harm reductionists, and recovery champions. You have all served your communities with so many efforts during the past 2 years when faced with what I imagine are challenges and the landscape of risk for people were constant and sometimes hard to meet by your offices and recovery advocates. Let me just take a moment for those of you who might not have been with us over our journey to let you know the landscape of where we come from. DART was originally piloted in 2017 with some small but mighty goals that worked to develop a growing relationship between public health and public safety. I'd be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity at this point to thank the Northampton Police Department and Chief Casper for their innovative spirit and unwavering support. Also, Michelle Fari, our now Deputy Commissioner, who was a steward of the DART work and led with compassion and heart and a 24/7 cell phone. So thank you, Michelle. Our goals were to serve and act as a connective hub for data, harm reduction supplies, training, create an exchange between a few communities who shared intersections of residents that were looking to overcome challenges we were facing with responses on how we reduce opioid overdose fatalities. We did this by providing support and resources to our partners initially, who would then share these with people directly affected and impacted by substance use disorder. We soon grew and grew as our partnerships and the needs were finding mutual value and how our roles together serve as a program. And then we started to shape. We secured funding to sustain the work, became a Narcan distribution site, purchased the first nalox boxes in the state of Massachusetts, and consistently looked to addressing barriers in access to harm reduction and recovery coaching. It was honestly tireless as the rise of fentanyl truly tipped the scales for most any agency to comprehensively take on a siloed response alone. The lessons we learned as a team provided the opportunity that we could share from community to community with our first responders and other agencies that save time, resources, and build trust in one another. So moving forward, we started out in 2017 with 4 community partners, public safety partners, and to date, we now have over 30 public safety partners. We have over 180 people part of our program, and we continue to grow. We have grown so far and so fast in such a short time that we've actually had some growing pains, some trials and tribulations, but together we've all overcome. So with that, I want to thank you for coming to today's training. I want to thank you all for being innovative and for evolving over the course of time. And I want you to enjoy your day. So have a wonderful day today. Thank you.
Thank you, DA. That was very nice of you. I just wanted to stand here and thank you all personally for the relationships that we've built, for being in the trenches, for thinking about your community and being willing to adapt and change. And most of all, I want to thank, the staff at the DHHS, at the Hampden County Addiction Task Force, at all of the recovery centers that are just people with all heart, which are my people. And I just enjoy working with you all. And in these moments when we get to come together after 3 years and seeing this space filled with so many people who care, it is just so encouraging that we can continue to fight the isolation that addiction can bring, reduce stigma, and create connections for people and continue to find hope. So with that, I want to turn it to the DA.
Good morning. I'd like to really start by thanking the city of Northampton and all the folks that have been part of DART from the very beginning. These type of programs don't exist in other parts of the country. They simply don't. It's because of the innovation, I think, of Pioneer Valley. And it's testament today that we have all these people here because we care about each other. And, when I started 12 years ago, I thought I was just going to be a district attorney, fight crime, get rid of all that stuff. It didn't turn out that way because about a year into my administration, that's when the opioid crisis really took steam and really moved ahead. I mean, the rate had tripled in a matter of 1 year. And as we all know, this particular opioid crisis is no longer an opioid crisis. It's a fentanyl crisis. We now have a more potent substance out there that's 20 to 50 times stronger than heroin. We thought that we had a serious problem with heroin, which we did, but this is even more serious. And it's a sense of urgency that all of us have. Maybe other people in the community don't have it, but you see it every day, particularly our law enforcement. Every day, people are overdosing and they aren't waking up. And that's what we have to do, is know that we save lives. Simply, everybody in this room that's part of the DART coalition is saving lives that wouldn't ordinarily be saved. And the other is that it's prevention. Where we look at it right now with fentanyl, if somebody tries it even once, it used to be heroin, you could have that addiction for many years. But fentanyl can kill you in one time. And it isn't to use scare tactics to get people on board, because we know it doesn't work. But what we need to do is make sure that we embrace our communities, we embrace the prevention work that's being done, and know that everybody in law enforcement now is a public health official. Simple as that. I'm now a public health official by default, because there is no choice. The choice is either you save lives, you have a public health model, or you let people just overdose and not get the help that they need. So I thank all of you for the work that you're doing and that you will do in the future. And know that every single department that's out there for police is going to be different. But I think we have a core, and the core that's been put together by the DART team, and it's gone national. And this is a model that every community should have. And it's really, I think they're probably spending half their time being troubadours, going out and trying to preach this thing. But the growth of DART is all about people. And as long as we know that the people that we serve are going to benefit greatly, and that we're going to make a difference, and to law enforcement, fund more police, fund more activities, because now you have an extra role and it needs to be funded. And so I'm very pro making sure that police departments get the resources that they need so that you can do the job in a meaningful way, and to make sure that you save lives as well. So I wish you all the best, and have a great conference.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, DA Sullivan. We really appreciate you being here and for those inspiring words. So I'm going to say just a few words. I'm going to give a really high-level overview of DART and where things stand right now, which is kind of a funny thing given that I'm brand new here, and here I am giving the DART overview. But part of why I'm doing that is that I am stepping into this role, and Michelle, as you heard earlier from Meredith, our commissioner, has taken on new responsibilities as the Deputy Commissioner for Health and Human Services in Northampton, and is always going to be there for DART. You all know that, those of you who've built really strong relationships with her, but is sort of moving back and serving in more of a guidance and technical assistance role. And so I, as the supervisor of the DART staff, including Kathy Coutinho, who I think many of you know and who you'll see again later, and Kate Shapiro, who we've just hired today, is her first day. Talk about initiation to DART all in one fell swoop. And also we have our Hampshire Hope coordinator, Taylor McAndrew, who's somewhere in the audience or maybe out there, and our prevention coordinator for Northampton Schools, Kara McLaughlin, who is here, as well as Melissa Eloise, who's been helping us troubleshoot tech issues. It wouldn't be a conference without tech problems. We've had them. We're hoping everything goes smoothly from here. And Austin Sanders, who is also assisting Melissa with all this work. So that's our team that I supervise. So I'm going to give you a quick program update. I wanted to say again that this is an opportunity, and it's a big deal for us all to be together in person. As Meredith has said, when was the last time I spoke in front of so many people was years ago. So it's great to have you all here. It's an opportunity for networking, to get to see each other, talk about things, remind ourselves of the importance of this work. And it's also an opportunity to hear from some of the latest experts on some of the things that are happening. DA Sullivan talked about fentanyl. That wasn't something that we were dealing with in the same way that we are now when we last all came together. So there's a lot we want to keep people up to date on, and that's another thing that this meeting is for. And we also want to, for those of you who are new, we want to orient you to DART. I'm going to be saying a little bit more at the end of this presentation about which talks would be the best ones for you to go to in the afternoon if you're new to DART. And we also, I think I want to tell you a little bit about what's on the horizon for DART. So DART is constantly expanding and evolving. And Michelle is a visionary, very expansive person, always thinking about ways that we can do more things. So our model is changing and evolving, and we are kind of keeping up with that. You'll be hearing in the panel presentation about sort of how DART started, the original model, and then how it's kind of morphed and changed in Hampden and Berkshire counties, but all with the same DART principles that are so important to our program, which you'll be hearing more about. I also wanted to mention that we had a media campaign on Channel 22 in the last month or so. Did anybody see ads, DART ads on TV? Just a few, not many. Okay, our staff only. I do have one embedded in this presentation. Hopefully we can show it, and hopefully the speakers will work. But another big part for today is that we are rolling out SIMs for DART referrals. So in the past, DART partners have used our case management system, which has been undergoing an overhaul. Long story, we're still working on that. In the meantime, there's this great technology of SIMs, which police departments and partners have been using. And we will be telling people how SIMs can be used to make DART referrals today. So for many partners, there won't be the need to do double data entry. I'll say a little bit more about that in a minute. And then also just want to say, as I mentioned earlier, that our DART partners are shaping the narrative about post-overdose outreach and what is the current landscape in terms of people using drugs and support for people using drugs. So you'll have opportunity to hear about those things in the afternoon. So here's our media campaign video. I don't know if this is going to work to play this, but let me see.
Opioid overdoses affect many people in our community, and everyone's experience is different. The Drug Addiction and Recovery Team offers a free program that supports people at risk for overdose and their loved ones to identify their strengths, help them to stay safe, and to find their own path to wellness or recovery. Call, text, or find us online. DIRT is connecting the community to save lives.
So we were pretty happy with that. It came together very quickly. And I just want to share a story that as a result of that, we've had several referrals. And one family in particular that Kathy was working with closely, who had been really not ready for treatment, not ready to be on their journey to recovery. And after seeing this on television, made a phone call, got connected with resources. So maybe that's just one person, but this is the kind of change that we're trying to impact one person at a time. There, okay. So there are also social media ads that are part of this campaign and web banners on the Channel 22 website. And the social media campaign will be going on for the rest of this month and possibly into January. So that will be another component that you might see, and that will also help to drive more interest in our program and hopefully more people on a journey towards recovery. So I mentioned this earlier that this is a big deal for us also, and there'll be more to come on this, but being able to use the SIMS technology, which many of you in the police world are using, and I've heard really great things about, to also make DART referrals. There are 2 sessions this afternoon in which Sean and Pam from Kelly Research Associates will be talking about how SIMS can be used to make DART referrals, and we're really excited about that. For our Hampshire and Berkshire partners, there is the ability to do that, make a DART referral, and not to have to double enter in our case management system. For our Hampden partners, we're still working out the logistics. So for now, Hampden partners will still need to use our case management system in addition to SIMS. There'll be more information about this. You'll hear more. But this is something we're very excited about, to be able to collect more accurate data about overdoses in our community and connect people more effectively and quickly to resources and recovery coaching if that's what they desire. We are transitioning everything to the dartma.org website. So Hampshire Hope, most people are aware of that. Fantastic coalition still going on, really birthed DART, but now DART has taken on a life of its own. It's a different program. So we're separating those things. Hampshire Hope, which is staffed by Taylor McAndrew, is doing more coalition work, and the DART program will have now its own website, dartma.org. As I said, we're still in the process of transitioning everything, but if you go to dartma.org, you can make referrals both to SIMS. There's a link to SIMS for police partners, and non-police partners can go to dartma.org to make referrals of community members who need assistance. So all of that is going to be in one place. Also, Michelle wanted to make sure that people knew contracts for this fiscal year that we're sort of almost halfway through. We are in the process of doing those. We'll be awarding those contracts in early 2023, probably around the same amounts of funding if you've gotten funding from us before as you've had before. If you have additional needs or if you've received additional resources that might impact the funding amount that you need or desire, please be in touch with Michelle by January 6th, and we'll be getting all of that out and done quickly. So any questions about that? Michelle continues to be the contract guru, even though she's pulling back from some of the programmatic aspects of DART, and will be your contact for all of those fiscal kinds of issues. And then just to tell you what's on the horizon, as I mentioned, DART is a solid, beautiful model that has great foundations and is evolving and changing to meet community need. What's important in public health is that we listen to the community and we adapt our models to meet the needs of communities. Communities in the Berkshires are different from communities in Hamden, different communities from in Hampshire. And so we want to make sure that our model embodies harm reduction principles, provides support to people, and also works in a way that makes sense for that community. So we're going to be working on a protocol that outlines the pure DART model and also these iterations of DART that can be implemented in different communities to meet that community's needs. There'll be more SIMS training, as I mentioned. There's a session on December 19th that Pam and Sean are running. It's a virtual session. I know that's short notice, but if people are ready for more training, they'll be announcing this in their afternoon session, and that's something that folks can sign up for if you're available next week. And then the other thing that we're really excited about that, again, Michelle has been working hard on is what we're calling the DART Academy. And that relies on the assistance of our DART technical assistance leads. We have 4 DART officers who are our TA leads. And the idea is really for those people they've stepped up already, but to step up even more and provide more technical assistance and guidance to new officers, to other people starting with DART or running DART. And we'll be doing both online and in-person trainings, archiving all of these on our Google Classroom, videoing our TAs on certain topics and archiving them in the classroom so people can go there and select a module and do it at their own pace. It's a big project, and we're fortunate to have the support of our TA leads in doing this, but it's something that we envision to happen next year. So really a focus on training for police officers is a really important part of DART, and we want to try to make that easy for people through this new DART Academy. I just want to end by saying just for tips for a successful convening. So for those of you who are new to DART, we really recommend, so this morning we're all going to be in here together. We have some fabulous presentations lined up. In the afternoon, there are breakout sessions. So during lunch, we'll be going to another room, and this space will be reconfigured into breakout sessions. So you'll have to choose one of 3 in the morning and one of 4 in the afternoon. So if you're new, I'd recommend that you go to the SIMS overview in the first afternoon session and the DART 101 in the second afternoon session, which will feature a panel of our DART TA officers that I mentioned earlier, and will be really important, I think, for people to get the flavor of DART if you are brand new. If there are several of you from a department who are new, one of you might want to go to the DART 101 in the second afternoon session, and the other might want to go to the SIMS Part 2. We sent out an email about it and suggested that people bring their laptops for that session so that you could practice logging on. There's a Google form in your packets or that was sent to you ahead of time. I think Kathy was also walking around showing people that with a QR code. So if you want to go to the SIM session and the second one, please use that QR code to get the information to Sean and Pam so they can have your credentials ready for that second session. So again, if you're new, there are a couple of you who are new from a department, might want to put your heads together, figure out how to get the most out of those sessions that are designed for new people. The luncheon will be in the Southampton room, which has a beautiful view. We also are going to be showing a newly, hot off the press roll call video that our fabulous videographer who's here in the room, Billy Freeman, has put together with us, featuring our 4 TA leads. So we'll be premiering that video, and we'll have also some recognition. So lunch will be really fun and important to be there for that. And then we'll move to the breakouts. And then finally, I just wanted to say there has been a change to the agenda in one of the breakouts. Stan Shapiro, who is presenting on recovery supportive workplaces in the first afternoon session, he's not able to be with us today. He's ill, but he has this is the commitment I'm talking about with our DART partners. He wants to be here with us, so we're going to Zoom him in for that presentation. So that presentation will still happen. Hopefully we won't have any technical issues, and we look forward to people coming to that if it's something of interest to you.